Nerd reactor, roll out.
But yes, Halloween Ends. Very very different take. Like with the this whole trilogy format, you have like a different themes, like the first one, then the second one, then the third one. Like completely caught me off guard. But what was the this planning stages behind that? Like, did you want it to try to do like a different story with this one compared to like the previous two?
Yeah, I just wanted to catch you off guard, which apparently I did, so that's good. I just don't want to be redundant. I want to introduce a familiar environment, familiar world, characters, Haddonfield, and then try to find a new way, tonally and narratively, to express some of the themes I want to explore. And I do want people to feel like they've got their grounding and they feel like they've come to a comfortable, familiar place, and then not know what the hell is going on, and to start to unravel and turn heads with some of our narratives.
Oh yeah, especially like the second film, the narrative is just how the shape infects like the town. This one it feels a little bit more intimate, but how he can shape just like an individual and seeing where that goes and how crazy things can get.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And it is trying to explore things that Michael can't explore through this character of Corey. So if I can't explain some exposition of Michael, I can take a new kid that is kind of a consequence of Haddonfield's unraveling, and I can ask questions that he can answer.
And with this one, the relationship between Lori and the shape, they're going to be put to the test. And was that exciting for you to see, just the two just kind of go up against each other?
Yeah, that was always the goal, is to see what happens if Laurie and Michael go toe to toe and bring this ultimate conflict to a head, and trying to make sure that there's not only physicality and brutality within this sequence, but also it's emotional, and there is an intimacy of two survivors that have been at each other's throats for 44 years.
And because we've seen them go toe to toe before, but this one was like trying to like just topping that.
That's right. Yeah, a pretty epic fight, and we rehearsed it a lot with our stunt coordinator, stunt team, and then when Jamie Lee Curtis and Jim Courtney, who plays the Shape, show up on set, then they start to flesh it out and actually make it feel like, not like a movie fight, but like an emotional fight.
Because this is Halloween Ends and it's being teased as it's the final one. And I know some people are like, is it really the final one? So what was the thing you wanted to just showcase here? Like, yes, this is it. There's gonna be like no more.
Yeah, I think that's what I want. I wanted it to feel like a satisfying conclusion to characters that we love, a franchise that we followed up and down and around, and so we came up with a story we're really proud of, a tone that I think is both emotional and terrifying, and that's the idea. Just let an audience loose on a movie like this, and have a good night at the movies.
And speaking of like, yeah, the tone is different. It's more intimate, like smaller scale. So did you have to get used to that compared to like the second one?
No, it's nice. I've done a lot of independent-minded movies in my career, and it's kind of a return to form in some ways. And being able to bring some of the techniques and tools from those movies into a Halloween movie is pretty funny.
And I will say this: the this one, like the first first two films, they really go well. You're going crazy too with the just the planning of the killings and all that. And this one, there's just still killings, but it's like a different type. And I'm not sure if I can say without like spoiling it, but it's 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 more like mysterious.
Yeah,
If you kind of get what I mean, yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of it's mysterious, and some of it, there's acts of violence by characters that are not Michael Myers, and those can be messy and sometimes campy and crazy.
Oh yeah.
So it's a balance of both the elegance of Myers and the messiness of others.
And when you're making these stories, you have to like make like a character that you can kind of root for, dealing with certain things, dealing with bullies. And every time I'm watching these films, these bullies, they always get on my nerves. I'm like, God, how many assholes are there in the world? So what was it like just trying to come up with just these obstacles for these characters? And trying to make sure, like, okay, this feels like it's plausible here.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what the story is Haddonfield is, instead of um, grooming a great mature society, it's bullies and blame and paranoia and negativity. So I think it's a town that took the wrong approach to its healing after the devastating events of 2018.
And it's definitely a very cool take on like what would happen if the shape was just running amok, and what would the townsfolk deal with that? And yeah, people are paranoid, people are just on edge, and people are just going after. And it's cool seeing the characters how they deal with it, and especially Allison dealing with that differently than how Lori is dealing with it. So, what was that like? Just putting a little bit more focus on Allison and her journey and her struggles.
Yeah, that's just to me, it's just dramatic storytelling. It's finding the juxtaposition with these characters. You don't want them on the same journey. You want them on very different journey. You want conflict. And Allison is a character that, as I've grown to know Andy, who plays her, just is certainly got a vast ability of things that she can play, do, and I want to exercise that. And that was, she was the inspiration to escort this movie into a love story, which the Halloween franchise hasn't really dealt with so much.
And the love story was pretty strong with the two characters. And my last question would be like this love story. What was the challenges in crafting that in this horror setting?
There wasn't any challenge because we had two tremendous actors and a script that we were excited about. So it, in a weird way, those were the nice days where you could actually take a deep breath and not have to worry about makeup effects and blood and lighting. You could just set up an environment with two people, and it was two people talking scenes. It was pretty chill.